for the last time this year, welcome along to Mallorca and welcome to the Best Centre. We're very lucky today. We've got 30 degrees on the pool side and it's a magnificent day for swimming. We've had Bournemouth, Enfield and Derby in yesterday, organising a three-way meet among each other. It was great fun to watch them race with a couple of fun races at the end of it. And that was great to see. And Dunmo are here and they've brought their fancy dress costumes for an end-of-week Halloween party. So it's all fun at the end of the season here in Mallorca. And also with us we have the City of Liverpool. So of course we've taken the opportunity to bring head coach Mike Roberts into the studio. So here we are with the famous Mike Roberts from City of Liverpool Swimming Club, who's been to a number of clubs around the country over the years, including Salford, Swansea, City of Manchester, and now with Liverpool. So we're going to take advantage of you being here to pick your brains about a few things. And what a lot of people don't know is that you coached James Guy when he was younger. Tell us about that.
Yeah, James came into the programme when he was about nine and a half. He came from a great programme at a local club called Trafford Met, and he had a great swimming teacher. So he came into my programme as a 9.5-year-old boy with tremendous skills. When we set up the programme at Trafford, we didn't have tremendous water time, so we had to do only 3 nights, and the rest of the time he did morning training, and that probably made him tougher at 10 or 11 than any other boy in the country. James was able to train more consistently, more skillful every single day than anybody else, and also out of the water mentally. I always remember him coming, it was the school holidays, and I said to him, "Oh, what have you been doing today, James?" And he said, "Oh, I've been fishing, Mike," and he still fishes now. "Oh, I've been fishing, Mike." I said, "Oh, what else have you been doing?" He said, "Oh, I've been watching swimming videos," and this was at 10 years of age. I said, "Oh, right, okay." And he could tell me nearly every world record in the book. He's the most motivated youngster, the most skillful youngster I've ever coached. So that's why he's probably world champion.
Must have been fun watching. Must have been fun watching Kazan, thinking.
Oh yeah, I'd like a text now and again.
So in general, what do you look for in younger swimmers when they come into your programme to be able to maybe identify them as swimmers that might be the ones that will have a successful career?
I think skill is the most important thing. I think sometimes people get carried away with how fast they are and not how skillful the swimmer is. And I'm a great believer in if they've got both, that's fantastic. But I don't think you can force the other one, which is the speed. I mean, that's another thing, is a lot of these kids are not as good as some of the better kids, but all they need to do is grow. And I think if coaches can be patient and not be worried about times, which worries me at the moment with the way the ASA are going with qualifying times and stuff like that, it knocks a lot of kids get disheartened because the times are quite tough at a younger age, and somehow they've got to get out of that scenario of putting too much pressure on young kids.
So what's your view on the debate on age on the day versus age at the end of the year, and what do you say to the kids and the parents when they're coming up against this?
Well, years ago when you were swimming and I was swimming before that, there didn't seem to be any issues. It was just age as the 31st of December and that was it. I think they just got on with it. I think because there's a lot of changes been going on, I just think people think for some reason they're disadvantaged, and I don't think parents and swimmers should get worried about that, because at the end of the day everybody catches up with everybody else at a certain age, at 15 and 16, they all catch up. I just think the ASA need to look at the times that they're actually setting. I think are too high, too young. And I think a lot of the coaches with the young swimmers are training to achieve times and not training to achieve long-term development skills. I think there's too much emphasis on oh no, you've got to get it in this time frame as well now, which is not helping the fact. I think the time frame is, for some of these youngsters, it's far too soon. It's far too tight. I think you've got to set it on each individual's child's development. I mean, in the past, swimmers have not even come through until they're 15, 16, especially with boys. And girls now. Girls seem to they seem to stay still around the 15 mark, and then 2 or 3 years later they start coming through again.
Yeah.
So I just think I don't think there's if we want to compete with Europe, the age group we just need to be more relaxed on everything, I think.
Now, land work is getting important. We didn't do very much when I was a kid. It was a bit of guesswork, but it's a bit more scientific now. And tell us about what you do in Liverpool outside of the water to help them.
Well, at Liverpool, we're quite fortunate over the last few years because we've had really good links with John Moores University, which is one of the best universities for sports science and specifically strength and conditioning. And we've got really good links, and they've just sort of gradually got better over the last year or so. And we've managed to employ 2 strength and conditioning guys who are at PhD level. And what we do, we pay them on an hourly rate to come in and coach our kids. We have they start when they're about 12 and 13. On low-level stuff for bands and some low-core stability work, but then we've just set up a new gym in Liverpool, and they're starting to work quite well on that. And what it does, because we're linking in with John Moores, it gives their students some experience of working with our kids as well. And I think other squads in the country should be looking at linking in with universities as well. I think it's a two-way thing.
What's your advice now to other coaches around the country that have got perhaps some young talent and they want to develop that talent? Either your coaching philosophy or your words to those coaches making their way in a coaching career.
I think it's try and be patient and not try and rush things and let the swimmer naturally develop. Not force them to develop. Our young swimmers need to be distance orientated, skillful, and they need to be able to sprint, but sprint well, and not be forced. So that's my idea how I see it.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Continue, Mike. Good luck with the week when you get back. Well, our thanks to Mike and to everyone we've had the Best Centre this year. It's been a terrific year, and if you don't know what it's all about, have a look at the videos, and we'll see you at the Best Centre in 2016. Bye for now.